my name is Lindsay Wilson, and this is Mental Training 30. Remember, every day this month, we are going over a tip, tool, or resource for you to implement with your athletes to get more mentally tough athletes. Okay, so today I want to talk about how to unleash the beast in your athletes. So in my experience as a mental training coach, there's sort of two types of athletes. There's the one that's sort of the same on the playing field and off. You know, if they're great leaders on the playing field, in their classroom, in their social group. If they're shy and introverted, they're kind of that way in all the rest of their lives as well. But there's also the type that can kind of turn it on and off sometimes. You know, if they're shy or introverted in their life, they're not on the playing field, or vice versa. Maybe they're kind of aggressive in their life and they're just not on the playing field for some reason. And in this exercise, I really want to focus on that type of athlete that is a little more shy, reserved, introverted in their life, but you know that they could play or perform much better if they could turn it on, and by on I mean aggression, competitiveness, if they could turn that on more consistently when they perform in competition, okay? So I've used this technique for that type of athlete in particular. So let's use an example. So Sarah is a 16-year-old soccer player, and she's really nice, and I've coached a lot of Sarahs, but this one in particular is really shy, introverted. She cares a lot about what other people think. She cares a lot about her teammates. She's like a great kid. She's great to coach. Her teammates love her. But on the soccer field, she really plays better when she's a little bit more of a bitch, excuse my language. And I've seen that in her coaches certainly have. And again, if you have an athlete like this, you know you've seen that aggression and it works for her, but it's just not there consistently. And the reason it's not there consistently is because Sarah's just a little uncomfortable with being that person. You know, it comes in spurts and then she's like, ooh, you know, and it feels uncomfortable to her. So the alter ego technique works really well with an athlete like Sarah. And this is how it works. I sit Sarah down and I have her journal. What does her best performance look like? And in this case, she said things like aggression. She said things like she didn't care about what people thought. She was super competitive. She wasn't worried about pleasing anybody. And she was really aggressive. And so you have to kind of picture that. She has to be able to picture what that looks like in competition. And then the next step is for Sarah to choose an alter ego. Now she has two choices. She can choose just a different name. And Sarah actually chose this. Her alter ego's name was Taylor. Okay, and Taylor did all those things that Sarah just wrote down. She was aggressive. She was a little bit mean sometimes. She was competitive. She didn't care about what other people thought. She was relentless. All those things that Sarah wrote down, that's who Taylor is. And so essentially what Sarah can do is she can turn Taylor on and unleash Taylor for competition only. And then she goes back to being Sarah in her life. Now the other option is for Sarah to choose an animal. And what I have another client that he chose a lion. And so what a lot of athletes will do is they'll choose an animal that's very aggressive, that's very predatory, you know, like a shark or a lion or a tiger. And again, that lion or that tiger, you know, you talk about how does a tiger behave? If a tiger was playing soccer, what would a tiger do? And you can think about a tiger hunting, and a tiger wouldn't care if he failed. He wouldn't care, or she wouldn't care what other people thought. She would just be going for the goal. She would just be hunting. And so again, this is something that Sarah or your athlete can turn on for competition and then turn off and go back to sort of their normal person, their normal personality. And so it's a really useful tool. And you know, you might have to talk your athletes through it because it does feel a little silly, like I'm a lion, but it works. It really works. And again, it gives them that sort of crutch to say, you know what, I can still be a nice person in my life, but on the playing field, I don't have to worry about that. Now, I don't have to be unsportsmanlike. I don't have to be uncoachable. I don't have to, you know, be a terrible person. But on the playing field, I can have this alter ego It's still me, but it's different me. And again, then I can go back to my normal life and still be that nice, congenial person that I want to be. And so it gives them that ability. So again, Mental Training 30 every day this month, we are going to be giving a mental training tool or technique. And this alter ego technique really works. And again, it works for an athlete that's a little bit more shy or introverted in their everyday life. So I encourage you to use it. I would love to hear your comments below about if you've tried something like this before, if you're gonna try this with one of your athletes, and maybe even tell us a little bit about that type of athlete that you have that maybe could benefit from something like this. You don't have to use their name, of course, but just tell us how you think this could help them, okay? All right, guys, thanks so much. See you tomorrow. Bye.